Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am currently on my trying to conceive journey for me and my husband's second child together, and we have been trying to conceive for about 18 months now, and we had just finished the past 6 months of medicated cycles and did not achieve pregnancy. So in this update, I am updating about our first visit with the fertility specialist and the results of my husband's sperm analysis that we had to do in the office that day. So if you're interested in this video, just keep watching. Today is Saturday, and we saw the fertility specialist back on Tuesday. It wasn't really an appointment that I was too nervous for. I was just kind of curious because I've never gone to a fertility specialist before. The facility itself was okay. The waiting room just struck me kind of odd when I first walked in the door. They must have had some kind of presentation over the lunch hour, and they just kind of left it up, and the office was full of people and everyone was kind of sitting in the way the chairs were set up. So when I went to check in for my time slot, I was having to kind of squeeze in because someone was sitting like right beside the check-in desk, and I kind of feel like that's not really private, but maybe they just didn't have time to fix it. I don't know why I'm really complaining about it, but it was just kind of odd to me as a first impression to walk in and see the waiting room like that and to feel like nothing was private. But they got us back really quickly, and pretty much they just triaged you in a room, took blood pressure, stuff like that, and then the actual physician came and took us out of that room and into his office, where he started to ask us a series of questions. Now, my husband very much is, I don't know how to say it, he's a lot more conservative than me. I'm more outgoing, I'm an open book. He is definitely just, he gets really embarrassed about things that I normally wouldn't get embarrassed about. So the questions that the fertility specialist asked had my husband turning very red, and there was times I looked over at him and I thought that he just looked like he wanted to like just dart out of the room. So that was kind of funny, but pretty much he sat us down. He asked for my family history and my husband's family history. That is why they want you guys hopefully to both be at the appointment the first time, because I wouldn't have known those things about my husband's family, and vice versa, he wouldn't have known that about mine. And I would have to say that our family history is pretty much normal, aside from the fact that my dog is running around. If you hear her little nails on the floor. My family history is pretty normal, except for the fact that my mom has or had endometriosis, and she had a full hysterectomy at the age of 25, which is how old I am today, or this year I'm 25. So that was the only thing that kind of red flagged him, because apparently if your mother has endometriosis, you are 10 times more likely to have it. Now that's not to say that it would be a major case of endometriosis. Apparently 1 in 7 women have it, and infertility, when you're having issues, he said the odds of having it are 1 in 3. So that didn't really make me feel any better, to be honest, but I understood that obviously it's just a thing that I'm just more likely to have it, and that's that. The things that I told him were just the basic things that I told you guys. I did tell him about the fact that I was seeing OB and did all these medicated cycles, and now that's the reason why we were there, is we were concerned about not being able to achieve pregnancy. And the OB office actually sent him my records upon my request. They also had the HSG sent over and the ovary ultrasound sent over. And he told me something that completely just blew my mind in the office. And even now I'm just like, holy cow. So upon looking over my records, and I was explaining to him about how Clomid made me ovulate the first few months, then we took Femera and it did not make me ovulate. Then when we doubled Clomid, it didn't make me ovulate. So I was extremely confused why it would work at a lower dosage and not the higher dosage. And he told me it actually did work on the higher dosage and that I did most likely ovulate. Like, mind blown. The reason why he said that is because this is something that I was never told before that he kind of enlightened me on, is whenever you draw progesterone level, I'm just going to kind of repeat hopefully what he told me and not mess it up in relaying this information. Apparently, progesterone will change all day. It pretty much goes like this, up and down. So if you were to take progesterone level at 7 o'clock in the morning, it could be 15, and if you take it at like 2 in the afternoon, it could be down to like a 6. So obviously when I was taking my progesterone levels, I don't know what time I would have had a peak and when I would have had kind of the trough. He said as long as the trough number, which is the lowest it gets during the day, is a 4 or above, then you more than likely ovulated. And you guys will remember that in my last colon update, when we had the first level of progesterone drawn, it was over a 4. I believe it was like a 4.5. So obviously I most likely did ovulate. Probably we just either took the test one day too late, or if we had taken it that morning, the number may have been a little bit higher. So that's something that I was never told by my OB office at all. And I wish that I was told that. And even it's something that I never even read online, because I did look up progesterone and everything told me one thing, and that is if it is over 10, you ovulated. If it's under 10, you did not ovulate. And if you're on medication, they want it over 15. And if it was under that, you did not ovulate. So it just seemed like it was very black and white. It's a yes or no. And from the way he explained it to me, it's not that simple because of the way the progesterone levels in your body kind of go up and down throughout the day. And you never know when's the best time to take it because every body is different. So that was just something that kind of like blew my mind. I was sitting there like just completely shocked by that. He did discuss 2 options for us, and I'm going to kind of get into that now. He did discuss doing a laparoscopy to go in to see if I had endometriosis. I did let him know that the only time it really hurt was when I actually ovulated, that it hurt a little bit during the ovulation time, and that the rest of the month we can have intercourse like normal and there is no pain. And my husband almost died when we were talking about this, because the doctor, you know, he has to ask these kind of questions, but he looked at me and he said, now is the pain right upon insertion or is it deep? And my husband, like, his face was so funny, and just in that moment I almost like died laughing. And but I explained to him kind of how it happened, and he said that that would be an option, but it's going to be our second option. He said the first thing that he wanted to do was to have my husband's sperm analyzed and do a sperm analysis. And that was kind of just, since we had done all the HSG and the ultrasound, he kind of wanted to go forward on his end to see, because we did get pregnant with our daughter Aniston without any help, no medication, nothing. It just took a long time. So he kind of suspected that maybe something was actually wrong with my husband as far as his sperm count goes. So he gave us the option to go home and leave the appointment that day, make an appointment to bring it back in and bring the sample in, or to do it there in the office. And I'm not even going to go over that process because it was like mortifying. But my husband did leave a sperm sample that day in the office, and then we left. I mean, it was just kind of, you know, we're going to try this, and if the analysis comes back to be completely normal, then we're going to move forward with the laparoscopy to see if there's something major going on inside of you as far as endometriosis goes. He told me to call in 2 days for the sperm analysis results, and then we left. And 2 days later, I called the specialist office for the results, and when they told me the results, I was just like, wow, holy cow. They normally test 3 different factors when they are doing a sperm analysis. The first is the actual sperm count, how many. The second is the motility rate, how fast they're moving. And the third is the actual shape and size of the sperm themselves. I'm not sure, I'm assuming it's all done through like a microscope or something. That is definitely a job I would never want to have. But his results were, the count was 10 million. Which that may seem like a lot, but actually, in fact, it was low. The average, or they like to see it above 20 million, so he was only half of what they actually would like to see it be. His motility rate, the average is 50%. My husband's was only at 38%, so that's obviously also low. And then she said that she also had a little bit of a concern for the shape of the sperm themselves. She said 2%. I'm not really sure what that means. I didn't ask about what that meant, but so all 3 factors they tested on, he pretty much failed all 3 of those. So I was like, wow. So obviously that is a major concern, because that would be the cause of why I'm currently not pregnant, or at least a large part of it, because even if I do have some other issues going on, I wouldn't have gotten pregnant anyways because of those numbers. So basically what the plan is now, what they told me to do was to wait 3 weeks, have him go back in for another one. They said in the meantime, he's able to take vitamin C. That is supposed to help a little bit. If those results come back in 3 weeks and they are still not of standard of being average or above, he does want to go ahead and discuss us doing an IUI, which is an intrauterine insemination, which basically when you ovulate, you call the doctor and say, hey, I have a positive OPK. Your husband gives a sperm sample, and then the next day you go in and they insert the sperm through a catheter. So it pretty much just guarantees that the sperm meets the egg, and your chance of pregnancy, I'm not 100% sure. I want to say I thought it was about 20% for each IUI. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I did read it somewhere. So I've had multiple friends that have gotten pregnant through IUIs. So it does sound good, and I really think that maybe this will be the way that we will get pregnant. But my first and foremost, my concern is about my husband, to make sure that when he goes back in 3 weeks, when they draw his blood, that hopefully his hormone levels are okay. If not, they did tell me not to worry, that there was medication that he could take. So I'm not really feeling down about it, because I do feel like when it's the male who has the kind of issue, they have a lot of options for making it better. You know, vitamins, you know, certain medications, if it's hormone levels or if it's not. There's a lot of options for them. I feel like there's kind of a lot more for them than there are for us, because pretty much if a woman has, you know, PCOS, there's not really a lot of options for her. And so it's kind of a little bit of relief, just to be honest, and I hope he doesn't kill me for saying this. It's kind of a little bit of relief knowing that maybe the problem isn't all me, because for so long I've kept this pressure on myself, like I can't give him another child. And I kind of feel like now we're in it together. So that may sound absolutely horrible, but that it just kind of gave me just a small sigh of relief. And I will update you guys, of course, in 3 weeks whenever he goes back. But that is the plan for now. Once he gets his count at the level it's supposed to be, if he can do that, I'm not sure if we will do the IUI right away, or if he will still want to go ahead with the laparoscopy. We have vacation coming up in October. I would like to be pregnant by the time we go to vacation, to kind of tell my parents on vacation, but at the same time, I'm not holding on to like a super high hope that I'll be pregnant by then. It's really gonna depend on what he decides, what the doctor decides after my husband's next sperm analysis. So I will keep you guys updated here in the next few weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Quiero respirar tu cuello despacito, deja que te diga cosas al oído.